episodes. You can't laugh yet. I haven't told you the joke.
That was pretty funny, though. That should have just been your intro.
That should have been my intro. Maybe the whole thing will be my intro. We'll just do a crazy cold intro.
Yeah.
But anyways, what do Tuscans call jokes?
Dirt? Garbage? I don't know.
Stand-up comedy.
Ha ha ha. Hardy har har. So good.
Man, tough audience today. Yowzers.
Wanna buy some death stick?
Jedi.
That's not a moon. It's a space station.
Always a pleasure to meet you.
And my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy!
You failed, Your Highness. I'm a Jedi.
Hello, explorers, and welcome to episode 118. And as always, thank you for joining us. If you like what you're hearing, please rate us on your podcast provider of choice. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. And welcome back if this is your first time here. As you can see, I've got a different co-host with me today.
Yup.
We spent so much time together last weekend. We thought we'd keep doing it here this weekend. And we're going to be joined by some friends as well once we get through some of this opening stuff. But Tiara, how has your week been since Rebel Scum Con?
Yeah, I just got back home Tuesday at like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I don't like everyone's been like, it's a week since Rebel Scum Con. And for me, it's like still hasn't been quite a week yet. I've just been recovering, reminiscing, going through all the footage that we got that you sent me, that other friends sent me. So yeah, just tired, catching up on sleep.
Nice. Yeah, good for you. Yeah, kind of the same. School started, so I'm like trying to catch up and sad that I'm not there and I'm in school.
Yeah.
It's been different.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk about some of that stuff a little bit later. Do you have any Force encounters this week? Did you do anything Star Warsy that other than like, we just spent an entire weekend doing awesome Star Wars stuff and you got to do some amazing things that we'll talk about in the main show. But have you done anything else? Have you, we talked a little bit off air, but have you done anything fun with Star Wars? You watch a show, listen to anything, or you just working on the content?
For my ally is the Force.
Yeah, just working on the content. I do tend to watch Tales at night. Like it's just like soothing for me. So I watch a lot of that. But I just posted a reel about meeting Kyle, who plays Cyril in Andor. And that's been kind of the highlight of the week because I was just watching it and I was like, this was a really nice interaction.
With the sticker?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I saw that. Was that this morning you posted that? When did you post that?
A couple of days ago. Yeah, just a couple of days ago.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He was fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So very cool. Yeah, I have been really, really busy, but I've been really getting back into the Bad Batch because on my way down to Rebel Scum Con and my way back, I read or listened to Mark Thompson do Sanctuary.
Yes.
I wasn't sure what to expect. And this book was like, basically, I feel like this is like a missing season or missing like, I don't know, like 10 episodes or something they put into this book. And of course I have like these hyperspace stories, Dark Horse Comics, the Bad Batch Ghost Agents. So I was reading that. I'm kind of getting back into Bad Batch. I've been talking with the author, Lamar Giles, about some things that happened in the book, some really cool stuff. So it's been very Bad Batchy week for me. So, but yeah, it's kind of my Force encounter for the week. And we had a ton. I feel like, I don't know about you, we're going to get into the news here in a second, but like when I was free and had all this time, nothing was really happening. And now that I've been back to school for a week, everything is happening. Yeah. And I'm like, my head wants to explode because I'm like, So let's go ahead and head over to Batuu and talk about this week's news.
The people in this crowd will soon be among almost 40,000.
For those who are among the 900 with news media or promotional tickets, this sneak preview probably will be the only chance to see the Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, so our first bit of news, Simon Kinberg reflects on writing his upcoming Star Wars trilogy. Lifelong passion leads to Star Wars. I'm trying to. This is from Nerdtropolis, so he was actually on this podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and he was talking. And there's a little clip here that he talks about, but he says he's inspired by fellow creators. So Kinberg's praised the current generation of creators shaping the franchise, citing Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy, storyteller Dave Filoni, and Andor showrunner Tony Gilroy as sources of inspiration. There's a ton of wildly talented folks that want to do great work, Kinberg said. I was super inspired and just sort of awestruck by what Tony Gilroy did with Andor. I thought that was about as good of science fiction storytelling as you can do in any franchise. For Kinberg, stepping into the galaxy far, far away isn't just another job. It's the culmination of a lifelong passion for storytelling, childhood love, and that was only grown stronger with time. I've always been enthusiastic about it, he said. I always will be. So this article is pretty cool. You can go on to nerdtropolis.com. You can see the interview. You can read it. He just talks about how, this guy has been part of Bad Batch. He's been part of Rebels and some other stuff. Are you excited for his trilogy?
What trilogy is he doing?
Well, he has the trilogy that no one has been talking about. But right now he's working on season 3 of Invasion for Apple, or it's just released. But yeah, he has a trilogy that was announced. My goodness, when was that announced? I probably should have looked that up prior to it. But yeah, he announced. But now he has developed his own Star Wars trilogy, and the experience feels surreal. It's not even a dream come true, he says. I couldn't have dreamed it, Kinberg admitted. Just to be told there's more movies would have been unbelievable. To be allowed on the set of any of them was already a dream. My enthusiasm only grows with working on it and around it. Yeah, so he's writing a brand new trilogy of movies.
For Star Wars?
For Star Wars.
Is it for like the Dawn of the Jedi era, or is he doing like the post sequels?
I don't think anybody knows. We believe there's rumors now that they're connected. Like Rey might show up in some of this. So like they're talking about this Rey film. Some people think maybe this is a Rey trilogy, or it's going to be like quite possibly could be, episodes 10 through 12. If they continue that way. There's a lot of speculation. Nobody seems to know anything, but he has some pretty, big experiences with writing. He's writing the 3rd season of a show for Apple Television, and then of course he's being involved with all of Rebels and Clone Wars and things like that with Dave Filoni. He's worked pretty close with Dave, written a bunch of stuff. So just kind of wondering how you felt about that. Are you excited to hear about a 3rd trilogy or a new trilogy?
I mean, any Star Wars is like good news, I would like a little bit more context to determine if I'm excited or not. But I mean, if he had a big hand in Clone Wars and Rebels, then I am excited to see what they'll be producing, because new Star Wars is good Star Wars.
Yeah, I just think it's all speculation at this point. So it's kind of hard to know. The big rumor is that you know how it's been with like the Daisy Ridley, Shamin Obeid-Chinoy movie. It's been postponed. There's new writers. It's getting pushed. All this stuff, and people wonder if something's going to happen in this trilogy to set that up, or if that's going to set it up. So there's all kinds of, I don't know. It's all, we know it's happening. I mean, he's admitting to writing a trilogy. Now, that still doesn't mean that we're ever going to see it or not. But yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting. I do suggest people get on nerdtropolis.com and check it out. It was a pretty neat little interview. He talks about just writing as a kid and how he'd be a writer even if he wasn't a writer, getting paid to do it, which is pretty cool. But yeah. And then this was important to me. I'm going to share this real quick. We have another big one. Ron Howard talks about getting Solo. This is the first time. Solo came out in, I don't even know when, but he said he was, where is it here? I've always been curious about Star Wars, he said, and Solo landed in my lap when I didn't have another movie set to go. Howard said in the interview, my wife Cheryl and I were vacationing in Paris, as one does. I went to London to see Hans Zimmer play at the O2, and I reached out. Or is that Oxygen O2? And I reached out to Lucasfilm president Kathleen just to say hi, and she said, "Do you want to come to breakfast?" I said, "Okay." First off, he's just chatting with Kathleen Kennedy. How you doing, Kate? You know, how's
Yeah,
things going,
catching up
Kathy?
over an omelet.
Yeah. And she's like, "Do you want to go to breakfast?" So I mean, she's in Paris
Yeah.
hanging out. During the sit-down meal, Kennedy, Howard said the conversation soon turned to the troubled early production of Solo. They basically said,
Mhm.
"We've reached an impasse with Lord and Miller. Would you ever consider coming in?"
Mhm.
As Howard remembered, he needed some time to think. I don't know about what. It's Star Wars. Come on. Around this time, he also spoke with Star Wars original creator George Lucas, who shared a helpful tip on making Solo. If you remember, Ron Howard was in his very first movie that he created. So they've been very tight for a very, very long time. So he called him and says, "I talked to Lucas once early when I was just sitting there thinking about doing it," Howard said. He
Mhm.
wasn't active on the films, but he said, "Just don't forget, it's for 12-year-old boys." Ultimately, Howard agreed to direct the movie, reshooting many scenes previously filmed by Lord and Miller. In spite of his mixed feelings about replacing the duo, Howard said that he enjoyed the entirety of his time on the project, even if there's nothing personal for him in the movie's narrative. "I came in, I had a blast, but there's nothing personal about the film whatsoever." A beautiful mind director, a beautiful mind director said, it's still just a shame. I can't wait for Phil and Chris's next movie." So we knew this had happened. Lord and Miller, and we've heard some stuff from behind the scenes from people that were in the shows. They were spending lots and lots of money and not getting much stuff done. And but so he talks about this. Have you seen Beautiful Mind or any other Ron Howard films? I mean, he usually
Yes.
makes some pretty
Yeah.
big, epic
Yeah. Da
film.
Vinci Code, he did
Yeah,
that. Rush. I liked Rush, so
yeah.
yeah.
So when he says there's nothing personal about the film whatsoever, does that kind of bum me out? Like I read that and I was like, oh man, like how good could this have been if this would have had been his film originally?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure why someone would agree to do something if they didn't have any heart in it. Like, if it was just another paycheck, that is pretty disappointing, but for what it is, like, what did come of it, I feel like it was decent, like, you love Solo, and
Love
I
it.
find it to be, like, a comfort movie sometimes, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious. I wish I wish we knew a little bit more about it, but this is the first time he's spoken about it since it came
Mm,
out. So,
mhm.
this movie has famously derailed all the spin-off uh movies that we were supposed to get. We talked about Obi-Wan
Yeah,
Kenobi movie and a Boba Fett movie, and they all became TV shows. So it's kind of a bummer. I'm glad he's able to talk about it a little bit.
yeah.
Of course, George says it's for 12-year-old boys. I'm sure he just meant for 12-year-olds in general. Um, but the guy is almost, how old is George? He's like in his 80s now. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. But I just think there's a lot in this. I haven't got to read the full article yet, but you know, he has directed Splash, Cocoon, Willow, all these other things. And it was rumored too that he got the Willow trilogy or TV show because he did Solo. Like he's like, I'll do this if I can do
Oh,
this kind of thing.
okay.
And he's also the dad of Bryce Dallas Howard. I want those two to
Mhm.
work together on a film.
That'd
Can
be
you
fun.
imagine how
Yeah.
crazy that would be? Oh my gosh, that would be so cool. What else? We got one more, I think, happy thing. Yes. So we got one more happy bit of news, and we're going to end with a kind of a sad piece of news, but
Mm.
I didn't really plan that out very well, did I? Uh, have you seen the new trailer for the next installment of the Rebuild the Galaxy?
I haven't watched the trailer, but I've seen all of the posts about, like, everyone who's making an appearance, like, there's Darth Revan, there's, like, Brickhead's Ahsoka,
Yeah.
Jar Jar's coming back, and, now Cal.
Yeah. I would suggest that everyone goes out and watches. It's pretty long. It's like over a minute. It's like a minute and a half.
Oh,
The
nice.
big news here is that Cal Kestis is going to be showing up.
Mm,
I went back before you and I hopped on here, and I tried to find them in the preview, but things are
mhm,
moving so quickly
mhm.
that I haven't. But um, you're doing like replays on, was it Twitch? What are you doing? You're doing Jedi Fallen Order like replays and stuff, right?
So I've already played Fallen Order all the way through, and then I have not finished Jedi Survivor, and I've been really good at avoiding spoilers, for the game, so I'm just playing it for the first time, like, that's what I do my live streams
Oh
on. Yeah.
man, I didn't realize you were playing it for the first time.
Mhm.
Where are you in it so far?
I'm, like, a quarter of the way in,
Oh, you have so many big things to happen.
Yeah.
It's got some really
So I've been told.
oh, it's got good tie-ins with the High Republic. It's so good. I think that I've voiced my opinion on what I think is going to happen with some of the. I don't want to spoil it for you because there's a lot of great things that happen, a lot of
Mhm.
different things. But yeah, you'll enjoy that. When do you usually do that? You do it live or do you do it?
Mhm. I do
Okay.
it live. I usually do it on, like, the weekend, like, Friday or Sunday usually,
Oh,
but, I mean, with all the convention and cosplay stuff, I haven't had a chance to get back into it.
okay.
So once I wrap all that up, like, after this next convention, in September, things will probably slow down for me, and I'll be able to, like, pick it back up.
Well, I will be in the comments yelling, "Look out! Watch out! Don't go that
I'm not
way!"
the best, and I definitely get lost, but I have a good group of people in the live chat that kind of direct me because I would be
Nice.
real lost if I did not have them.
Oh, that's fun. That's a fun way to do it, though.
Yeah.
But yes, supposedly, yeah, like you said, there's a big giant Chewbacca. Like they're bringing in all
Mhm.
these Star Wars actual Lego sets. They're bringing Brickhead Ahsoka, like you said, and
Mhm.
then giant Chewbacca. I know that the clone ships were in that. Yeah, it's kind of a funny place. I did you like the first one, first pieces or yeah,
Yeah.
Rebuild the Galaxy?
Yeah, I thought it was really fun. I thought
Yeah.
the message was really nice, and I thought it, like, pertained to the fandom, in
Yes.
a way. Not to get, like, super deep about it, but I
No,
thought it
it's
was really fun.
yeah. It's like the one place that we can all agree that it's just for fun and no
Yeah.
one has to fight about anything.
Yeah.
I mean, Darth Jar Jar and a white,
Mhm.
all white Darth Vader and stuff like that. The trailer's pretty funny
Mhm.
with that and a good Palpatine. So yeah, there's lots of good things in it. Looks pretty cool. Um, there's some new Legos will pop up from this, which are pretty exciting. They have like the snow speeder that has like flames on it and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. And of course, Cal Kestis, which is kind of the point of this story, but nobody knows exactly what his role is going to be. But it's kind of cool that they're
This
bringing
is,
him.
like, pretty major because it was just a video game, like, everyone else is, like, within canon, but, like, he's kind of just on the side,
Yeah,
so it's kind of important that he's
yeah.
voicing Cal in, like, not a canon movie, but, like,
But
you know what I'm saying, like, in
they're
a like, an actual
bringing him
production.
into Star Wars for people who haven't played the games maybe, right?
Right,
Like,
right,
trying to
exactly,
kinda
yeah.
putting him out there, and I don't know, I've noticed this a little bit as I'm reading the books and things, like, they'll take these ideas, and then they kinda, like, start to slowly, like, slip the new stuff in with the old stuff, like, there's a lot of things
Mhm.
that have happened in, like, Mando and things like that, and they're sliding it into these High Republic books, so it makes it look like it's always been there, so I
Like,
think
seamless, yeah.
yeah, so maybe they're kinda getting ready to do that with Cal, so when he shows up in one of the I again, I don't wanna give my
I'm sure
theory.
he will, they're making a 3rd one, like,
Yeah,
he's, popular enough to have him be involved in some way.
yeah, so, yeah, no, I'm pretty excited for it, and in our last bit of news, here we go. This isn't fun. This is like people from my childhood, man. We're losing uh,
Mm.
more and more actors, but Terrence Stamp, Chancellor Valorum, he was born July 22nd, 1938, has passed away at 87 years old. So that's a great life, 87 years.
Mhm.
His first acting was in 1962 in a movie called Billy Budd, where he earned an Academy Award nomination and recognition, allowed him to star in other films. He's really famous in our circles because he played General Zod twice in the first two Superman movies, the original, Chancellor Valorum, and Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. He's been in Smallville, Red Planet. He's voiced characters in Haunted Mansion, Halo 3. I mean, Elder Scrolls. I mean, he's been in a ton of different things, and he just another one of those actors who kind of like. I mean, it sounds like originally he was massive, and then for me, I just know him kind of as side characters or the bad guys in a lot of things.
Mhm.
But he always had quite the presence, I thought, in his shows and his movies, and his voice was awesome. He's just wonderful voice. I think he was in what was Billy the Kid movie called Young Guns as well. He was kind of in that as well. So this guy has a great acting career, and he has passed away. I think it was. Did they say exactly when this happened? It's not in this article, but yeah, great. It's always sad, and it seems like this has been a lot
Mhm.
recently. A lot of these older actors, people that helped make Star Wars what it is.
Well, James Earl Jones was this year, right? He passed away this year,
Man, see, this is where
wasn't
I'm
it?
really bad about, because like I'll see one of my students like, "Oh, hey, you just graduated, right?" And they're like, "No, I have graduated 10 years ago and I have 3 kids." I'm like, "Oh, well, it felt like last year." So yeah, I think it was this year or last, but yeah, there's been a
It's
lot of
pretty
big
recent.
actors and
Yeah.
people behind the scenes. I know we've talked about it. We always try to give them a shout out on the show, and just,
Yeah.
our thoughts and prayers go out with the family. He lived a
Mhm.
good, strong life of 87 years, which is awesome. And I mean, he'll be forever immortalized, in this original Superman movies and Star Wars. So,
Mhm.
but I think that is all the news. So why don't we head over, find some friends, and talk about our main topic?
Let's do it.
All right.
It's just a simple jump to hyperspace and we're there? What's so tricky about that?
Plenty. Can't plot a direct course to Kessel. You might wanna buckle up, baby.
All right. Like I said, we've got 2 new guests joining us, fresh from Rebel Scum Con year 2. We got Imperial Lemon and Jessica from At Tales of the Force. We're going to let you guys, first off, thanks for joining us, both of you. I know some of you got rushing in from work just to be here, so we really appreciate that. Jessica, you've been on the show before, so why don't you just remind everybody what it is you do in Star Wars world?
Oh, Star Wars world. I have a podcast. It has been a little inactive right now. And it is currently called Tales of the Force. And it is just about people sharing their Star Wars stories. And so the whole goal is to kind of just help bring the fandom together because, you can like or dislike whatever you want. That is totally fine. But there are normally deeper connections that people have to stories that make them gravitate or, have an opinion on something over something else. And so I feel like if I can help people share why they like something, it can help someone else. Like, even if they don't like it, it might help them at least gain new perspective for why it is not, trash or whatever, because it might mean something to somebody else. And
Yep.
so that's what I'm kind of trying to do, is kind of bridge the gap there. But I am in the process of rebranding. Um, yeah, so
That's exciting.
I'm really excited. I want to change. That is still going to be the premise. Like, I'm going to change a few things up with it, and rebrand and rename and that sort of thing. But I'm really excited to launch it and get back to it.
Well, we
So
can't wait for you to do that.
I have some other things coming too, so y'all
Oh
have to
my, look
be
at
on the
you,
lookout.
mover and a shaker. Very cool.
Ooh.
And I can testify to Jess's ability to shed light or, be open-minded, because you came on Jedi and the Mailman and we talked The Last Jedi, because Mike and I are not the biggest fans of it. And you yourself and Sydney, I believe, came on and gave us all these reasons why why you guys love it. And then kind of really opened our eyes to some things like, we're both 2 old dudes. We don't see it how you would see it. And so that was pretty awesome. Like, that was a cool experience. So
Yeah.
I'm vouching for Jessica. Once you rebrand, she starts that again. Folks, jump over there. Make sure you watch her stuff. She does a great job of being
Thanks.
positive for everybody. So, and now we have the Imperial Lemon, which is an awesome name.
Okay.
Manny, what's
Thank
happening?
you.
Thanks for joining us. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your journey into Star Wars and what you do?
How's it going, everybody? Thank you for inviting me to my first podcast.
Yeah.
And what am I doing here is, of course, talk about Star Wars. And then my whole spiel is basically I'm a Star Wars artist, mostly a action figure artist. I do a lot of clones, Imperials, like something like this. This is something from Force Unleashed. It's a Shadow Trooper 6-inch figure. So I make figures from the ground up using like basic, Imperials, put them together by 3D print stuff, paint them, put it together by ideas. And yeah, that's kind of my whole thing right there. I've just been a long time artist for a long, like since I was little, but doing Star Wars stuff. Been doing it for 8 years,
Wow.
and
Right.
it's becoming like a very like a the passion hobby, and it's very therapeutic for me for doing it.
Very cool. Yeah, folks, you have to
Yeah.
go. I just met Manny this past weekend for the first time, and I got to see a bunch of his stuff. You guys need to make sure you're following him on Instagram. Are you on TikTok too, or mostly Instagram at
I
Imperial
have a
Lemon?
TikTok, but I'm not that active. But
Okay.
I feel like I should be active in a way.
Yeah, but so go check him out on Instagram. He has some amazing clones on there and different things. Just a lot of really awesome constructions and paint jobs and things like that. But thank you again for joining us, and we'll go ahead and dive into
Yeah,
this.
thank you.
I have a really important question for everybody. Have you recovered mentally and physically from all the fun? Like, I
Nope.
don't do a ton of cons. Like, I know, like Tiara and Jess, you guys do a lot of conning. You guys go. It seems like you go more than I do. So I guess it's all subjective. But I do Celebration and I do Rebel Scum Con typically. Sometimes I go to one up in Kansas City. But have you guys recovered from the long weekend? I know your weekend got extended a little bit because of flights and things like that. But how's everybody feeling from Rebel Scum Con? Tiara, you want to
Tired.
start us off? Tired?
Yeah,
Tiara had a lot of driving to do.
I did.
That's insane. The amount of driving that y'all did, it's crazy.
Was it worth it, Tiara?
Yeah, 1000%. I
Yeah,
got to
there's
see
no
Jess and
hesitation,
all the
folks.
friends.
There you
No hesitation whatsoever.
Yeah.
Jessica, how about you? Have you recovered?
I've been kind of, I feel like, in my hibernation state a
Mhm.
little bit because I went to like San Diego Comic-Con and then basically had a weekend in between the two. Went straight into one of my jobs that is the most like labor intensive. And so I did not stop really. Um, and so I am tired.
I bet. And then you rushed over here to get on the
Good.
show. So awesome. Yeah, I imagine. Manny, how about you? How many did you do did you go to a lot of cons? Because you have a lot more around you than like what I would have. So
Yeah. In San Antonio, where I used to live, I used to go a lot to the big Texas Comic Con, Space Con, and all that. And they were pretty cool. They're pretty, good, spacious. But in the last couple of years, I feel like they kind of downsized a little bit. So it's kind of like, lacklusting a little bit. I haven't done too much in Houston, not yet, but I definitely want to check them out to see the difference between that. But the amount of times I've been to cons in, San Antonio, comparing to Rebel Scum, it's like night and day. It's completely different. Just the way the interaction is.
yeah.
I'm like, and that's like my mentality when I went into it. Like, okay, it just could be a rebel, like a regular like Comic Con and all that. So I was like, not expecting much, but it just kind of way exceeded my expectation when I got in. I'm like, wow.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Those
Mhm.
guys do a really good job. What do you guys think? We're gonna talk a lot about the location, like things like that. And so Tiara and I can kind of speak about what happened. How do you guys feel about the location? Did you guys like the setup? The hotels that were all in the area, and then did you like how things were set up at Rebel Scum Con with the way photo ops being where they were and the panels being where they were? And TR, you can start us off because you were at year one and then to year two. You can maybe talk a little bit about the changes and things like that.
Yeah, so for this year, I thought it was done better in terms of being able to find the panel rooms because last year it was hosted at a hotel, but the panel rooms were like on one side of the hotel and then the main floor was kind of like on another side, so you had to go through all these rooms that weren't necessarily connected with Rebel Scum Con and then to get to the main floor and then to get to the panel room, so it was a little confusing. Even the
Oh,
autograph room was like in a separate room, but this
Mhm.
year it was like all in the same area, so I thought it was more accessible and people didn't get as lost. So yeah, I thought the changes were good.
Yeah, good. Just you coming in from San Diego Comic Con, and you're coming into Rebel Scum Con. How was it for you? Because you do quite a few of these. We always see you posting on your social medias. First time I actually met you in person was in Japan.
Yeah.
So at Star Wars Celebration. So what did you think about the setup for Rebel Scum Con in year two?
I really I liked it. I thought it was a good setup. I felt like things weren't like too spread out because sometimes At the bigger cons, things can kind of get spread out, and then you realize there's like a whole section that you didn't even realize, or they'll have another wing of the, center that you're like, oh, I didn't even know that was over there. And then by the time you're done, you missed maybe an artist or somebody that you have been looking for and you couldn't find them. And, it can get kind of confusing that way. So, no, I thought it was set up really well, and I think everything was pretty easily like accessible too. And yeah, I mean, I walked around a little bit at San Diego Comic-Con. I didn't really do much. I was working at a booth, so I spent most of my time there. But that is kind of a line con where you're in a line for something and then you go into another line for something, which is just the way big ones are. And people complain about it, and I'm like, you know what you're getting into when you go into these big cons. Like it is lines. Like that's just part of it. Everybody waits. Like, so jumping from that to this was really nice because it was, I don't know, less chaotic and, easy to navigate through and everything. So
It's got that weird small time, and that's not a disparaging comment, but it has like a small con feel, but we'll get into it. The people that are there, how it's run, all that stuff is pretty crazy. What's harder, Jess, working a con or being at a con? Which one are you more tired from? Working at San Diego Comic-Con, all those long hours, because you can't really leave and stuff, right? Like you're kind of stuck.
I mean, it just depends. I mean, I worked a booth with my boyfriend, Punch at Chewy, which everybody knows them, and they're amazing. And so, like, I mean, we still got breaks and we got to go do things. So I don't want to make it sound like I was just there the entire time, but we went there with the intention to work the booth, but we were still able to do other stuff, and it was so much fun. We had a blast because we were there with not just them, but also like BB Create, which there's some awesome guys. So we had so much fun, a lot more time on your feet. But like, honestly, like I think about Celebration or like a MegaCon or, some of the fan expos that are massive. I mean, you're exhausted. If you're there like from the beginning to the end, you're on your feet a lot. And so I think it's just a different kind of tired. Like they're both I mean, you're tired from both of them, but it's different because you're having different interactions. So instead of you being the person that's walking around trying to find the stuff and wait in the line, talk to people and go here, you're, at a place and people are coming to you. So it's just a different thing. So
that makes sense.
Both are equally fun and tiring in a good in the best way. It's just different.
All right. Very cool. Manny, what did you think about the setup? This was your first year there. You said you've gone to some big massive ones down there in Texas. How did you feel about the setup and the ease of getting around and how everything was kind of located?
I thought it was pretty simple layout, and that's what it just needs, a simple layout like that. Like where you need to navigate from, like, okay, left side is autographs and photographies and all that. And then on the right side, it's a lot of the vendors, a lot of the artists is there. I feel like the layout was like perfectly executed. Like I didn't feel like I was lost. I mean, probably on the first day, just trying to navigate through, like, okay, which areas has what and going on this side. And okay, I think it's pretty simple, pretty well executed, and pretty well done on their part.
Yeah, they do a good job for only being in their second year. So yeah, I would agree with just about everything you guys said, or everything you guys said. I think that it was an improvement from year one, their first time. Things were kind of wonky, like you said, TR, like they'd have to walk the talent out and around, and that was kind of fun, but I know it was hectic for them because they had to go out and get like security people to come in and walk them because and then you had to go find stuff, and this was just everything was right there. I thought maybe more signage for the panel rooms, not those little other than that. But, these guys keep making these massive changes, and they learn every year. So if you're at Rebel Scum Con and you're listening to this, they are really open to like constructive.
They host a panel at the end for like where they welcome people who attended to
I was there, and
criticisms. You were? Okay, yeah. Nice. How was that?
And they were really it was good. They were really pressing for like criticism. Like they want negative criticism. Like, come on, guys, I thank you for all the good, positive, but give me something negative because I want to work with something, because I
Yeah.
definitely want to definitely make some changes for next year. They did talk about they want to expand it a little bit, but they don't want to steer away from the experience that we had this year. And because it was, I think I could say for mostly everybody, I think everybody had a really good experience there, just interacting with everybody. So with the expansion, they didn't want to do too much to where it steers away from that experience, but it gives enough, people to like, oh wow, there's a lot more now. But yeah.
It's hard to be negative with Bobby, Josh, and Kentucky. Like, they're such
Yeah.
nice guys. You're like, well, maybe if you did this,
Yeah.
you don't want to be like, come across like a big jerk or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's not much like, and I said, I don't have a ton of experience. I think Jess was talking about like lines and lines and lines. You don't have that yet. I do think we're gonna get to a point where, I mean, I know we waited in the line for a couple of panels, and I don't remember waiting at all last year.
Mhm.
But I mean, I think it was 4 times, if not more people this past, from year 1 to year 2. So, I mean, some of that's to be expected, but yeah,
Mhm.
I really liked it. I was, and the place is great too. So like if you're, you could stay at that hotel. There were hotels close by. I mean, I stayed at a scary Airbnb where I didn't get murdered.
You were almost staying at a scary Airbnb.
So, and then we went, there was places for dinner, and I mean, Dave and Buster's was right there. We had that evening
Mhm.
event and the other evening events,
Mhm.
which we'll talk about. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Like, as far as like, if you're from out of town and you fly in, it's pretty easy to get around to everything and
Yeah.
everything you needed. So,
And the
Yeah.
airport's
Mhm.
like 20 minutes away, like,
Yeah.
so it's not horrible.
Oh
yeah,
wow, that's not bad.
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome. So let's just dive into things, right? Can you guys like think about, like, when you think about year 2 of Rebel Scum Con, what's like the first thing that pops in your head? Like, what moment or meeting someone, like what is just like the first thing that kind of like pops into your head for this year? Manny, I'll let you go first.
The first thing I guess that pops into my mind with Rebel Scum was interacting with all of y'all. To be honest, like getting to know people that I knew from the social medias and finding out they're going to be there and just meeting y'all in person and just interacting with y'all. It's like, wow, it just exceeds my expectation of y'all. Like it's like really like awesome meeting y'all for the first time in person. Like it's like dang, it's like I got friends now. But it's a really cool experience, and yeah, like it just I blew my mind. Like just like we're all family, and like we are just like you could just say hi to somebody and just like, oh hey, how you doing, blah blah blah, and just make a cool interaction.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's how, I mean, that was an experience for, I mean, like, Tiara, the first time I met Tiara, we had been talking. I always think it's funny too. I don't know if you guys feel this way, but like, somebody by their handle on social media and you don't know what their real name is.
Mhm.
And it's always like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you don't remember so, but Tiara, what's the first thing that pops into your head? I think I know what it is, but what is it? What's the thing that stands out the most for you? And you can be selfish a little bit. You and Jess both could be a little selfish on this one, I think.
Friends and panels, those are the
Friends and
Yeah.
2
panel.
words that pop up. Yeah, those are,
Okay.
like, what I was most looking forward to and what was most of my time, which is, was important to me is being able to hang out with friends and stuff.
All right. We'll come back to panels
Hmm.
for sure.
Yeah.
Jess, what about you?
Yeah, I
This is your
think
first one.
yeah, it was my first Rebel Scum to go to, but it's like it's I don't know, just like getting to see everybody. Like it's hard, I think, when it's at a big convention and like
Mhm.
you can message people and be like, we're gonna meet up or we're gonna hang out or we're gonna go to dinner or we're gonna do this. Like there was so many people I missed at like Japan that
Yeah,
even
so
still to this
many.
day I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know they were there," or had I, still miss seeing them or because I feel like a lot of us were there, but everyone's so busy or you go to a bigger convention and people are just doing so many things and it was just like wild. I remember one day like being on the floor and everyone was just kind of in a circle talking and we're like, how is this happening? Like we're just here all hanging out and we're friends online, but now we're all here. And it was just such a cool thing because it didn't feel like you had to go really search try to find
Yeah.
somebody.
Hmm.
Which I know will kind of change, like obviously as things grow, and that's just like kind of a part of it when things get bigger. And I mean, you want things to get bigger and things to grow, but That was just such a fun aspect of it. I think is just getting to hang out with everybody. And, if I had met people, but they hadn't met this person, but it was just really fun to get to either see people meet for the first time or go, oh, you know them? How, just all of that was really fun. And obviously, the panels and having a panel was really great too. But yeah.
Yeah. If people don't know, Jess, you hosted a panel about women in cosplay, right? Women in Star Wars in general, right?
Just women in the fandom. Tiara did the incredible cosplay panel.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say Tiara
and
did a great deal.
that was very last minute. So I literally had from San Diego Comic-Con to Rebel Scum to pull all that together. So yeah.
Yeah, and you had terrific guests, right, Tiara? There was terrific guests on that panel, weren't there?
There was really amazing gals on that.
I got to ask some of them at San Diego Comic-Con after, I met the guys at Rebel Scum. They're like, hey, we have an extra slot. And I was like, okay.
Well,
and then I was like, what do I do? And I was like, well, I guess I just asked my friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
So literally I ran over, Bella was right there. And so I asked her and then ran into Carly not too long after that. And I was like, hey, I know you're already doing all this, but she's like, yeah, let's do it. And then messaged some other people. And then I had no idea that Chanel was going until later. And then was like, hey, you want to do this too? And
they were the day before.
Yeah.
Literally the day before.
Yeah, I had no idea that her and Richie were going, and I was like, "What? Why didn't you tell me you're coming?" And so then I asked Bobby. I was like, "Hey, can I add somebody?" And he was like, "Sure." And so I added her, and it was great. So.
Yeah, both your guys' rooms were packed too. Like you had lots of people there, really good topics. I had no idea that you'd put that together in a week.
Yeah.
Like, you were very well prepared. You did a good job.
Thanks.
All the ladies that were there did. I was pretty impressed with a lot of the answers.
Yeah.
Like that. And I didn't.
Great questions, and the topic was challenging, but in a good way.
Yeah, because my generation, it seems to be causing a lot of the problems. I don't think it's me necessarily. I'm pretty open minded, but Tiara's laughing at me. But hearing you guys say some of the stuff that you did, it kind of hurt my heart a little bit. You know what I mean? I just was kind of bummed that that's people's experience in Star Wars, and then especially women in Star Wars kind of get it. We've had people say things about Star Wars not being for girls, and I don't understand that, because you have Princess Leia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go on a rant. I just want to say I was shocked, and I'm glad I was in there to listen, and kind of open my eyes to things that you guys go through that I didn't realize was happening. So thank you for doing that panel for people, for middle-aged white men.
Thank y'all.
No, I mean, and I wouldn't even say I wouldn't even say that we get most of our issues even from your generation. I think it's not, so don't feel that way. I think it's all ages, honestly.
Right.
And it's not just men. I mean, there is bad apples and weird things from any
this
gender.
was just one perspective.
Any gender, any age. There's I think we all can learn how to have better interactions, and that the experience is different for everybody, and how can we make people feel safer and more included, and that sort of thing. So
you should continue to do that other places. I think you should do that. Jack and I had to split at Celebration. Like you were saying, Celebration was chaotic.
Yeah.
We had to split, but you should be doing that panel there. You should be doing it at ICC, wherever else you're going. You should be spreading that word.
Spread awareness.
Yeah. Well, I did,
because you did a panel at Celebration, but it wasn't that, right?
No, it was my friend Shelly's panel.
Okay.
And it was on cosplay or women doing cosplay in the Star Wars fandom. But honestly, through my friendship with her, we became friends through a not great situation that we were trying to protect another woman in the fandom from a situation. And like that's something that she is very passionate about is, being aware of cons and how it can be an unsafe place and there can be sadly bad interactions. And so, it's important for me, like with my podcast. I mean, I have a questionnaire that people fill out, and I've
Yeah, I
had
remember.
people,
Yeah, I filled that thing out, man.
and I have, stuff like that people have to sign and stuff because, like, I don't want to champion people who are not safe in the fandom. And while we can't know everything, and sometimes things comes out later, and yes, I have deleted people off the podcast. But it's like, it's one of those things where we can only do the best that we can until, other information, we can try to be as safe as we can. And because there is a lot of like hearsay and things like that we also have to be careful of. But I mean, it's something that I think people need to be aware of, and it can affect, men and people who are non-binary. I mean, it can really affect anybody, the trans community, anybody,
Yep.
not just women. And so I think just bring awareness that, one of the biggest things that I wanted people to take away from that panel is that when you say very hateful things online, and to you, even because a lot of people will be like, oh, that's just like, a keyboard warrior or whatever. However, there are some people that see that and see people get away with that online, and they in turn are emboldened to feel like they can be that way in person. And so that is what I think we kind of blow off some of that as to what happens online. But if that person is doing that behavior online, they might be doing it in real life too. And so, yeah, I didn't want it to be all negative. I wanted to also,
No, it wasn't. Yeah, no. I mean, I thought it was positive. I just thought it was a good message you got out there, and it really opened my eyes to some of the stuff that's going on. And of course, as the more I got to know you guys and listen to stuff, I was like, holy crap, I had no idea. But then, Tiara, you also had a really awesome panel, and it would have been like, I thought you and Crafting on the Lake. Wait, what is it? What is her
Lady
handle?
of the Lake Country.
That's it. I thought you guys were like best friends the way you guys handled yourselves up there.
Yeah, it is the bond over cosplay, I think, is what did it for us, because we had met each other once briefly last year, and then we met in person for like 10 minutes, and then we had a couple of like video call chat type of stuff before, but it was very brief. So yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun preparing for that. And like, as a person who just kind of like dove headfirst into cosplay like 3 years ago, I thought it would be beneficial for me if I was just starting cosplay like this year to have attended a panel where it gives you like the resources and have both perspectives, because Daniela, she's so talented and so experienced, and like she does that for a living. She teaches like sewing and like all that types of stuff. But for me, I don't have any knowledge of that. So it was cool to have both of our insights on that. Yeah.
Did great. It was awesome.
Thank you.
I hope that they put these panels up for people to watch too. Like,
yeah, I think they're getting around to it. They have
I mean, I got a lot of stuff they got to do, but I hope that that's accessible to people because that'd be a great video to watch if you're trying to learn, because you guys covered everything from like beginners to stuff like that. Let's talk about some of the other because you guys, like I said, you did amazing. Nilda did amazing too. Like we had a lot of people who had and did stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the things I had messaged with some of them, like, oh, what'd you like? I'm like, I love the fact that like people I know are doing panels and they were all so good. I really like that. So outside of like your guys' panels, was there one like Manny that like really grabbed your attention? Like, we went to one together. I think it was the Andor one we were in
all
there
three
together.
of us. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Andor.
Yeah.
Is there a panel that really stuck out for you guys that like, because I love panels. Like some people are like when I go to Celebration, I don't get these panels. I'm always bummed. Like I'm like, oh man, people are like, oh, it's just panel. I'm like, yeah, but they're awesome because you get
it's information.
I love it. So Tiara, is there a panel or that you really just like that you loved or that you're really glad you went and saw?
I mean, I'd hate to like pick one. I feel like each one of them offered something. Like me, Jessica, and Robbie, we went to one with Matt Wood and David Collins, and like they were talking about like the sound effects like they do for ILM and stuff, and that was really insightful because I love learning like the fun facts, like, oh, like how do they get the lightsaber sound or like the TIE fighter sound. So that was insightful. And then the Andor panel, I'm a huge fan of Andor, and being able to like do a fan question and listen to Kyle and Pietro, I think is his name, or Piero or something like that.
Oh, Piero, yeah.
Piero, yeah. That was really fun. So those are like 2 panels, like outside of our friends
Yeah.
panels that I really enjoyed.
Cool. How about you, Manny? Because you stayed all 3 days, like all the way up to the end, and I think you guys all did
Mhm.
too. But
Mhm.
what panel, like, is it really kind of sticks out for you?
I guess that one that sticks out. Since I'm like a toy guy, I love, like, of course, the action figures and
Yeah.
everything. One of them was like I was able to see Jim.
Swearingen?
Yeah, the and Kenner. That panel I definitely wanted to check out, and he was very insightful, talking about his time, not being part of ILM, but I would say like he had a good part in ILM, like able to meet
Mm.
like some of the people that created Star Wars and everything, and then trying to share knowledge. Like, okay, with this products and everything, it's like, what do we need to do? Like, how do we create it? And it's just very interesting that like you couldn't get much out of it, but they were still able to retain a lot of that information still, and still come out with those great products back then. And I really enjoyed that panel a lot. Of course, I enjoyed y'all's panel, like, but of course, me being a toy guy,
Yeah. Oh,
um,
awesome.
hearing them explaining, the process of Kenner and all that, went through that during 76, 77, and beyond that. It was very interesting for me.
Very cool. Jess, what about you? Is there another panel? I know we love all the panels. We're not trying to put you on
Yeah.
the spot. Which is your favorite
Yeah.
panel? And don't worry about Star's feelings. But is there
Mhm.
a panel for, like, let's say panels that were hosted, like, by the guest, I guess, like that. I mean, I know
Yeah,
you guys know.
I didn't get to go to as many. There were so many. I could have sat in those panel rooms like all day.
Mhm.
Like they just had such quality like panel options. I
Yeah.
feel like for a
Mhm.
con, and I love panels. However, everybody doesn't want to sit in a panel room all day. So I was able to do like other things and hang out with people and go to the different booths and do that kind of stuff. But so the only other panels besides Tiara's, which was so good, like you guys crushed it. It was so informational, and I feel like so many people, like everybody has said, would get so much information out of that on how to start things and kind of where to go. And but the only other 2 I got to go to was the same one that Tiara was talking about, that Carly hosted with David Collins and Matthew Wood. And that was just, I love behind the scenes things like
Yes.
that. And it was so cool.
Mhm.
And just like kind of hearing all of, I don't know, like there's a little inspiration and, how they're fans too. Like I love when you can tell that people are clearly like huge Star Wars nerds just like we are. And, that's so fun. And I enjoyed that. And then I got to go to Nilda's panel too. And I thought
Mhm.
it was really great because it was a lot of fun things that, them
A lot of
talking
behind
about.
the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
volume and being on sets and different things. And yeah, that was a great panel too. And there were so many I wanted to go to. Like I wanted to go to Gabe and Carly's, like the collectible ones, and I didn't get to go to any of like Bobby's. Like I felt so bad. I missed like Will's. I feel like I just missed so many, but it was like there's only so much time to do so much. So
That's the hard part of cons, right? I mean, because like
Mhm.
you said, in Japan, like all these people I wanted to meet. I mean, we walked over to meet you, but you had just got. I mean, you had of a hell of a journey to Japan. But like, yeah, it was really hard. And then even at Rebel Scum Con, which is not as big, there's so many things to do. And like last year, I mean, I didn't really. I mean, the only person I really knew was Tiara and one of the guests, and so I mean, I just sat in those rooms for a long time. And I love the panels. Like I love behind the scenes stuff and things
Mhm.
like that. But then, the more people you get to know, the more distractions there can be too. Right.
Yeah.
So, that was pretty
Mhm.
fun. Is there, yeah. And all those are so great too. Like that's another thing about Rebel Scum Con, that just the level of actors, like in the panels. I mean, we had Sam Witwer, David Collins, like you said, Matthew Wood. Like we just had people who are Star Wars. I mean, they're the
Yeah.
reasons that we love it, and they're so energetic. And then, like Bobby and those guys do such a great job of interviewing, and Kevin and those guys. do a really good job of interviewing those guests. So, was there like a guest that you wanted to meet, you got to meet that, I don't know if you guys collect signatures or, photo ops, things like that. Like what sold you? And I'll go, Manny, I'll come to you for this one. Like, is there like one actor that you really were super excited, or not even actors, but people involved in Star Wars that were there? Because we had all kinds. I mean, we had people from every single show, every single trilogy. I mean, this place was incredible for the size. Like, I feel like there's better guests at this than there are at celebrations, especially in Japan. Like Japan's was like empty. Like I didn't. That was the first one I went to where I didn't meet anybody. Was in Japan, but I met a ton of people.
Really?
Rebel Scum Con. Yeah. So Manny, what for you, like just the interactions and stuff like that? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I actually like the way they get, like, of course, like with the way they set up the voice actors, the actors, actresses there. I like the way it was set up where it's more open and you're able to like at least like approach them and like ask a question or just say hi to them. I really like that aspect of just freely like more openness of that. But yeah, I was able to meet two of my legends, people that were working on Star Wars. Of course, Jim Swearingen and then Lord Peterson. It's one of the main guys like from ILM. Like that's like my bucket list is meeting like as much as the people that worked in ILM during the original trilogy and all that. And of course, now the prequel trilogy is on that list of mine too. So I was able to get a signature photo op with Lauren Peterson and just have a little chit chat with them. And that was like the best highlight, during that time. And I think one like I missed out was Sam Whitworth, missing out. I'm like, I'm sure he'll be coming back, time and time. So
does a lot of stuff. I mean,
yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, the main one was people that were working for IRLM that I really want to get to know and interact with them.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's the one thing too, is like you can tell Bobby and Kentucky and those guys are all, and Josh are like, they are fans of Star Wars. Like this isn't like, Reed Pop is about making money off Celebration. I mean, there's no way they would deny it. There's no way you can, the prices and the ridiculousness. These guys love Star Wars and they bring people in that you just maybe not have an opportunity to see. So, Jess, did you have like an interaction? I mean, I know that your boyfriend almost got into a fight with Wedge Antilles. So
that was fun.
we almost witnessed that.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on like the guests and things like that and how all that works?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a huge focus for me at this convention. I knew
is it typically like, is it something that you like to do, or
it depends on who's there. And like, for me in the past, it's always been like I do it to offer support because I know it's a way that they also make an income. And so for me, it's more I'm trying to support as a fan, saying like, hey, like I'm supporting you by buying a photo op or an autograph or whatever. And so, I mean, I feel like I've done it and like I've met a lot of people, and would I love to still have conversations and, get like, I don't know, learn more stories and things from people and just like person to person type things. Yes. But I also don't want to like overdo it because it's not my main focus. Like my main focus is like just making connections with people and like making more Star Wars friends, and so I don't know, like I've had really good experiences in the past. And so this con was more honestly was about supporting like Tiara and like her having a panel and her having all these cosplays that she's worked so hard on, and helping her with whatever she needed for the weekend. So yeah, all the things. Yeah. And so that's kind of like, was really why I wanted to go. And I've heard that it was such a good convention, and I knew a lot of people, like a lot of my friends were going to be there. So it was just kind of a perfect way to go. But, Robbie meeting Dennis was so fun. And he just, he gave me a kiss I normally don't talk about celebrity interactions because I just don't. But he gave me like a kiss on the cheek, and he was like, what? Like it was just like in a funny way. He was like,
Yeah,
what? Like
no, it was
just,
fun. It was a funny interaction.
it was great. It
I'm
was
glad
so
we were all there to
fun.
witness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
It was
gasped. I looked at Patrick. I'm like, oh, did he gave her a kiss? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, scandalous.
Yeah, it was fun.
Gasp.
He is precious and so sweet, and it was it was really fun. But and then I got to have like a really cool conversation randomly with David Collins while
Mhm.
he was just walking the floor, and that was really special. Just like
He's
just
super nice, right? Like
yeah, so
ran into him by
nice.
accident at Celebration. And he just sat there and talked to us for like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's awesome.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I'm more about just like
All right.
I
We're talking
love
about,
people's stories. Like, I
yeah.
mean, that's what
Well,
my
that's what you
podcast
do.
is
Yeah, I mean,
about.
that's your whole
Yeah.
thing.
And
So
yeah, so
makes
I love
sense.
hearing that kind of stuff and meeting people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It was really fun. Like, I enjoyed it. Were there people that I would have loved to say hi to or see or meet? Yeah, but it wasn't my main focus
All right.
for this
Yeah.
con. So,
Tara, what about you? You had some fun interactions, right? Like that's the one thing about Rebel Scum Con too. Like
mhm.
I think Tiara's gonna probably tell her sticker story, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it
And
is.
Yeah.
I don't think you don't get to do this at Celebration, or you don't have the access to the people. So go ahead and I think I know what story you're gonna tell.
Well, like, yeah, just piggybacking off of what you said, like, you never know who you're gonna interact with at Rebel Scum Con, because, like, last year, the only person I was planning on meeting was Ahmed Best, like, that's what I had purchased my, autograph for, but then I ended up talking with Tina, who plays Marin, and her fiancé or husband or her partner, and then, like, a couple of other Star Wars actors, and so this year, like, I wasn't intending to meet Kyle, who plays Cyril. I just wanted to give him a sticker, and I was, like, originally just gonna give it to Nilda if I wasn't allowed to just go with her and give him the sticker. But I have this sticker on my shop of Cyril eating cereal from season 1, and I went up and I gave it to him, and I was like, "I'm just here with my friend, but I just wanted to give you this sticker," and he had, like, a really, really good laugh about it. And he told me some behind the scenes stuff about the cereal. It was a really fun interaction, and I got to ask him my question, the fan question at the panel, but he was
Yeah.
just really sweet, really humble, like, and then, like, he just gave you, like, the time of day, like, he's just, he's
And he
present
thinks
with
Tiara's
you.
cute too. I don't know. I think did I turn it off before he said
No,
that?
you got it. You got it on
Yes!
camera. But I didn't include it in it. I didn't want it to be weird or
Oh, you
anything,
should
but
put
yeah.
because I saw I saw it and I was like, oh no, I must have turned it off. And no, okay,
Yeah.
good. I'm glad I didn't turn it off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't hear him say it either when I went to go give him the sticker, but Nilda was like, "Yeah, he is, like, such a cute Vix," or whatever, and I was like, Thank you."
Nice. Nice. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I had an awesome interaction with him too. He was pretty game for my idea. I took a photo op with him and I gave him a cereal. I'm going to post this photo probably tonight or tomorrow, but I gave him a bowl
Yes.
and I had
Yes.
cereal. He knew exactly what I didn't even tell him. He just made this face and was just like disappointment, like just went full on cereal Karn for me. And it was hilarious. And he got a pretty good chuckle out of it. He seems to really enjoy being
It was
around the
his first
fans.
US con,
Yeah,
so
which is because he's like over there
That's
acting in
insane.
like in Broadway over there, I believe. From the sounds of
Mm.
things, he's like in a
Mhm.
troupe over there. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, there's so many of those. Like last year, I was sitting outside and I got to talk to little Luke and different
Mhm.
people. Like you just never know. And then sometimes when you go to some of these after hours events, you get to chat with them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't really happen other
At
places
large
that I
con.
know of.
Mm-mm.
I've never really run into people like that. But
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit too quick. We talked about the actors there, which was awesome. I think there was there over 30? There was like 35 it was pretty big.
They always have so many.
Yeah, it's crazy. They have something for everybody.
Yeah.
We talked about all the panels, photo ops, things like that. Let's talk a little bit about the vendors because we had, you guys had some friends that were selling stuff. I was blown away. I bought more this year than I did last year. And you guys have like a favorite purchase you made or something you wish you would have gotten? There was some great art. I mean, there was just all kinds of stuff. So, Tiara, I'll let you go ahead and start. Like, was there anything that that you got that you loved, or something you wish you would have got? I know you were looking at stickers and things like that. And
Yeah.
then, what was that thing that we found? Did you ever go back and get that?
I did,
Yes.
yeah. So, I mean, Hans Pins is a really, like, good friend of mine because when I had started my page, I had my shop, and she was, like, one of my first friends on there, so I always try and go and support her shop, so I got a few stickers from her. And then Punch It Chewie, of course. I got a Lego Star Wars Lego pin of Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, so that was super cute. So I was trying to support them too. But the one that you're talking about is I don't remember his name. I don't have it around me, but it's an artist and he does Loteria cards, which is Mexican bingo, and he
Oh yeah, I
does
got
a
some.
Star Wars character. Yeah, like I showed you a little bit later.
Uh,
Some for Robbie. I got him like a print, and I went back and I got like little cards / stickers. But that was my favorite purchase because I thought it was like, yeah,
yeah, this is the
exactly.
Loteria.
Yeah, I do
It's
remember how
so
excited you
fun.
were when you saw
Yes,
that. I thought that was pretty
it's
awesome.
tradition.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
it's
never
part
seen
of
it
my
before.
culture.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
hmm
Star
yeah,
Wars is for everyone, folks.
yes,
So that was pretty
hmm
exciting.
yeah.
What about you, Jess? Did you get anything? I know you were giving stuff away because you gave Dennis something. I can't remember exactly what it was. But
Yeah,
did you buy anything or?
I give people like crystals from Arkansas. Like it's like I don't know. I love stuff like that, and it's like kyber to me. Like
Yeah,
like giving somebody real kyber, and I've gotten to give him to a lot of the Star Wars like actors and people involved in things, which has been really fun. But just giving them to fans, I love it. Like
yeah,
anybody, I don't care who it is. It's something just fun and like different than other things, and it's more personal because it's from where I
yeah.
am,
Great.
and
hmm
that sort of thing. So yeah, that's what I got to give him, and
Okay.
some other people, and everybody has had like a really good response, which is always nice because like sometimes you give people something, you're like, I love this, like let me give this to you, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh cool.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, she gave
ah
everyone crystals from her panel too. It was really cute. It was
yeah,
like a sweet little gift, and it was like all
Oh,
personalized
nice.
because the crystals have like meaning behind it. So
Oh, that's super sweet.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that
Yeah.
was fun, and um I unexpectedly bought a lightsaber, so that is
That's a
one.
pretty big purchase.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Which
So
one did you
Wait, did you
buy?
say accidentally?
yeah.
I'm like, how do you accidentally bought a light?
That's
She was
a,
like,
it's
oh,
accidentally,
it fell in
yeah.
my hand.
that's a good question. I mean, how does one accidentally buy a
I got a
lightsaber,
good
Jessica?
deal. And
Oh,
I need one for a cosplay that I'm doing,
Nice.
and I love, I know the people over at well, they just changed their name, Saber Company, and
Okay.
they're just so sweet, and I needed something for a cosplay because
Cool.
all I have is like the lightsabers that I have, and I love them, and they were gifts from a friend, but is Ahsoka's from like Galaxy's Edge.
Ooh.
And I'm not a huge like I love lightsabers, but that's not like the thing that I like
Yeah, collect.
collect or really, I don't spend them. I would break everything if I tried to do that myself and everything around me. So, yeah, yeah. That was my unexpected
Awesome.
purchase, I guess. So,
Manny, I think I saw a post of yours. You came away with some merchandise.
I did. I found some really good stuff. I'm like, if I had a lot more money, I would have bought a lot more, but man, it would not fit in my car. But yeah, I bought some decent stuff. I actually got those speeders, those car speeders from episode 2, Zam's and Anakin speeder. And the guy cut me a good deal on both of them. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. And I was able to find some Star Tours droids. I actually found Rex in one of the vendors. I'm like, oh, you don't see these around. And
I
for
think I was
3
there for
droids.
that. You were like literally
Oh
that's how
yeah,
when you
you
saw it.
were. And I'm walking around. I'm like, these weren't here before. And I'm like, I want these so bad. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, anything Star Tours. Like, I'm a big fan of Star Tours, and like just seeing those droids, I'm like, man, it's really cool to see them in hand. And yeah, and I think those were, yeah, some of my big purchases right there. Just having those.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I saw some
Yeah,
of your posts, and I was like, oh damn, Manny, he, he spent a
I
little.
know.
Yeah, I thought the vendors. Tiara, you can talk about this a little bit too, maybe, but I thought the vendor game was stepped up a little bit. Like there felt like there was way more this year. Because you'd go into that room. I know you had to like look for it. In year one, but it seemed a little empty. But this
mhm.
one was like it wasn't overcrowded. It wasn't like being in a celebration where you couldn't move and you couldn't see anything. But it felt like there was a lot of stuff there. Would you agree that you think it was bigger than last year's? And
Yeah, I think there was a lot more small shops, which I really appreciated because like the Loteria card, that wasn't there last year, and so like shops like that that were very niche but like about Star Wars, I really enjoyed seeing more of those this year. Because last year it was like one or two like that, and then like lightsaber ones or like 501st booths or whatever.
Oh.
So yeah.
All right. Yeah, I was kind of impressed because like last year, I mean, they had good stuff. I'm not taking anything away for year one. Thought it was really well done. I just thought it was cleaner, had a better setup, had a nice flow to it.
Yeah.
You know, walk in and you had Sabak right there. I think that was it. The props company. I can't think of it.
Hyperspace props.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they right there and beautiful stuff. And that's just a great way
Yeah.
to start off your journey.
The
into there.
Sabak for charity. Yeah, I love their setup, and they're really nice people. Like,
Oh my gosh, yeah, they are.
yeah, yeah.
Super nice. So yeah, so we talked about a lot of the stuff that's happening, all that stuff, all the the camaraderie that's there. And it's so much fun being at these things because everyone's so positive, none of that hate we see online and stuff like that. Like none of it doesn't have a place there. But so looking forward to year 3. Okay. Who would you want them to invite? Like who's one person like get this person and I'm back for sure and I'm buying a photo op and I'm buying an autograph? Like who would that be for you guys? Just on a personal level. And it can be anyone in Star Wars. It doesn't have to be, because these guys are getting bigger and bigger every year. And I think, I think that there will be the premier personally will be one of the premier event for Star Wars every single year because they're going to have it every single year. It's not like Celebration. So what do you guys think? Who wants to? Jessica, you perked up on that one. So all right, let's go.
I want Space Mom, Vanessa Marshall, because I love her. She's amazing. And obviously Ashley Eckstein, like I love her too.
Yeah.
I would love to see more of the voice
actors
or the Clone Wars or Rebels. Like, I mean, they had a lot of Rebels there already, but those are my girls. I love them. So any kind of con that they go to is always
and they
great,
do a lot. So I'm sure we'll get them eventually.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So yeah, a lot of the voice actors. What about you, Tiara? Is there somebody that's like you'd want a photo op with, or okay, here we go.
Elizabeth, who plays Trilla, because she has my photos in her phone, so I need to meet her in person.
Yeah,
I need a photo with her.
Nice. Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. Get all dressed up.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty sweet. That'd be pretty sweet.
It'd be really fun.
All right. What about you, Manny? Who's bringing, like, no matter what, like this person is on the list. You're like, yep, I'm going. Like, I mean, I'm sure we're all going anyways, but if there's any doubt.
Oh yeah. Regardless, I'm still going. But if they add more people from ILM, like Dennis Mirren,
that'd be a good
any
one.
of those guys, like if they kind of convince them, say, hey, these guys were here, it would be awesome if y'all guys come and y'all just talk about y'all's experience, creating and how to build a Star Wars. I think that would definitely sell me. I'm like, okay, more people from ILM are coming. Sign me up. Even like, I'll be sold for if people, the guys from the prequel era, I'll definitely be on board with
What if
that.
they got
Like,
Doug, and that'd be
oh,
like,
Doug Chang. If they had, if they bring Doug Chang, I 100%. That would. He's on my list of meeting and just interacting with. I would love to meet him. That would be really cool.
I ran into him by accident at Celebration in London before it opened. I was just getting my pass, and he was just like letting people take photos and chatting with us about Star Wars. And I will say that at Anaheim, I was having a terrible event, just personally, and just the way things were going. I didn't think the setup was great, and I went into his panel and I was like, oh, thank God I came into this, because his energy and his enthusiasm for Star Wars is like, it just pulled me right out of, my
your bad mood.
Yeah, my bad mood. Yeah. So, yeah, he's awesome. He'd be a good pick.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, I should know the answer because I'm the ones that came up with these questions. But I think Jonas would be cool.
He's so nice.
I love Chewbacca. I got his signature
so nice.
once, but you don't get to, you didn't really get to chat with him. So it's something like Rebel Scum Con, I could actually probably chat with him for a little bit.
Yeah. He's so nice.
Aaron Aldenreich, maybe, like get me some solo actors. I know that I've been behind the scenes to help some of my friends from like Legacy Effects and from that to get there. So I'm down for whatever. That they just do such a good job. Like I was kind of curious like how they're gonna top Ahmad Best from last year, and then you get Sam and you get Katie, and then just and that's like from my perspective. Everyone else has a different perspective of who they use to get, you know. And I just think that's pretty cool about this event. So, were there any changes you guys would make? And I heard this is the one negative thing I've heard, and this is people, and you guys go to more cons than I do, so you can really speak to this. I'm just going to stay out of this one, but at this con, you purchase your photo ops early, and then you get in line, you get that ticket, you know, and they stamp it, or they kind of click out what you want. Do you guys like that process? Because I heard mixed reviews. I have no problem with it. I think it's fine. You know exactly what you're getting. You hand it to the person, they know what you're getting. But then there's some people that you could tell were like, all cons every weekend and stuff like that, like, oh, this system doesn't really work for me. How do you guys feel about that, as it compares to, like, because I know you guys both go to like ICC and then some of the stuff in Texas, Manny, so what do you guys think about those, like, that system?
I think it had some, not flaws, but like there was like system errors, and so that kind of bugged things up. But I think it's in service to the fans, because I was talking with Dante, and like their purpose behind it is to eliminate that like awkward middleman when you get up to the booths and like have to do the purchase and like put the stickers or give you your ticket or whatever it is. So it was more so for the fans to make it more of a seamless process. But I think this was the first time of them doing it, and so there was like system errors that made things a little bit difficult. Like I think Nilda had an issue with her ticket, like she had purchased it but she wasn't in the system or something like that. So they're still trying to work that out, and maybe that's why it didn't work for these like more big con goers.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't remember them any issues last year with it, but it was smaller and it was easier to get your stuff. I mean, I didn't wait in line very long, but Jessica, what about you? Like, how do you think about that system?
I mean, I understand that they're trying to avoid like a bottleneck kind of type situation or it being backed up at a booth, and it is going to help the interactions like at the booth go a little bit smoother and quicker, because you're also not trying to get cash or and like I think that's hard at some of the conventions, is like half of them take cash and half of them don't. So like you don't really know, and sometimes you wait in line and they don't have cash only as like a sign, and it's like you waited in line and then you get up there and the people working the booth are normally always really nice about it, but they're like, oh, we don't take cards, and it's like, and so then you have to go find an ATM, and so I understand like the point and like why they're doing it, and I think in theory it is a good idea. It is different, and I think when people have anything that's different, they're not gonna like it.
Yeah, they get jammed up. Yeah, for sure. You're probably right though. It's just different, and people don't like change. Manny, what about you? Did you like that system? Because you got some photo ops and things like that. Did you like how that worked?
I actually like the system a lot better than having like a QR code or something, or going into that. Because Jessica, you're right. Because once you get in that line, you're there for like 30 minutes to an hour. You're there, and then what if they don't take card or cash, and you just wasted that time. So I actually prefer this system. I know like Friday I had is little slight hiccup on there, but after that they kind of got that hiccup on that system. But I actually like it. Next year it'll probably be bigger and everything. So I don't know if they're going to keep the same thing or not, but I actually prefer that. And it's actually a pretty cool little, collectible too. Like, just put it with your signature and just add it onto it. And I actually like it that way.
Yeah, I think
that's just me.
Have all of mine too, though. Yeah, I mean, I think I have all mine as well, and I'm not really. Go ahead, Jess.
The only thing I would say it wasn't in a great location.
Yes,
I agree.
Because of where Sam's booth was and how his line wrapped around, I think maybe like I get how it being close to like where all of that is taking place is good, but it might be better if it was like on the other side, so that there's a line over there and then there's lines over here and they're not running into each other.
Or
so
like
that's
by where you pick up your badge, so you could take care of that all at the front.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh,
I think maybe the location of it wasn't maybe the best, but you also don't know how all those lines are going to be sometimes. But having Sam like on the end and then having that there, I could tell people were like, where am I supposed to go do this? Because that line was blocking that line. And so that's the one thing that I think maybe could have been adjusted a little bit.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and those guys, that's the cool thing about, you know, just, this like Reed Pop always sends out that the survey at the end of Star Wars Celebration, and I usually annihilate them in it because everything they do is pretty much wrong. But
I mean, we'll see what happens next
yeah.
one because Mark Hamill is not coming if it's a Reed Pop. So
Yeah, so I meet him, it'd be amazing.
he's
But
so
yeah,
great.
so yeah, that was
Jimmy's fangirling.
yeah, I'm like,
But
Yeah.
I've just heard that he does not go to celebrations because I don't know, like because of who they
50th
use.
might be.
So
Yeah,
we'll see what the
happens.
50th does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
So
see.
Mhm.
That's gonna be nuts. So let's
Oh, yeah.
end with this. So I know we're kind of running along here a little bit. We didn't really get to talk about the nighttime stuff that they added, and they had a really great. I want to give a shout out to the not so virtual cantina, Spencer and all those guys. That was awesome.
it
We
was so
some
fun.
amazing karaoke.
That was an experience. Definitely an experience.
Also, I am not a karaoke person, but I didn't know it was gonna be like a live band,
Yeah,
and
that
I
was crazy.
totally would have done
Mhm.
karaoke with a live
Well,
band.
we'll remember that
so,
for next year, Jessica.
Yeah,
John
Yeah.
Cave, we got you now.
come
So,
prepared.
all right. And of course they did Dave and Buster's the next night where Manny and I got sick playing. Oh, I got sick playing Godzilla in 3D.
Oh man, I got a little bit of motion sickness, and I'm like, whoa.
You stepped up and you're like,
Yeah, it was an awesome event. But if you were going to try to convince somebody to come to Rebel Scum Con in a couple sentences, what would you do? What would you say to them to say this is the con for you? Like how would you sell it? I guess. Who wants to go first on this challenging last question?
I've already
I
told a
think
lot
we'll
of
be great
people
at
that they
this.
need to come to
Yeah.
Rebel Scum Con,
Yeah.
and a lot of my friends, I'm like, hey, look, like it's not that far away from where I live or other other people, and I know it's like smaller, but it has like there's always going to be hiccups, there's always going to be issues. Like anytime that there is a lot of people together, there's always going to be drama to some extent. There's always going to be something going on. However, I just want to give props to the guys running it because I have never, ever, ever felt so supported as a woman in the fandom with concerns that we have and issues that big cons, they don't care. They don't care. They let anybody in and it doesn't matter. And so for them to have they want it to be safe and they want it to be as good as possible outside of just loving Star Wars. And so that to me, like I've heard nightmares about small cons, like just as much. And I don't mean that as like small as like it is a negative, like you were saying, Jimmy. Like it's not meant to be negative. It's just the size that it is right now. And there are pros and cons, I think, to both. And I think this is going to be successful and it's going to keep growing. But like the intention that they have behind it right now and the support that they have for people, I think it shines through like in the convention itself. And so I have told so many people go to this con next year because it is like it's run really well. Everything is about Star Wars if you like Star Wars, and the panels are great, the stuff is great. And so I think it's just a great place for people to go. And they're very intentional on, I think, who they want there and what kind of fan, like not that any fan can't go, but they really don't want the hate. They really don't want the toxicity that can be in the fandom there. And I think that really shines through in what they do. So
would agree with you 100%. Tiara, what about you? Well, how do you sell it? How did you get Jess to come?
She got me to come just because she was going, and she was like, "Hey," that was it. Like friend going, "Hey, come to
friend,
so.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, it's just a fan-run convention. Like it's a con thrown on by Star Wars fans. They are really trying to put together a positive space, and it's affordable too. Like they're not trying to like milk you for your money. And they work so hard on it. Like Jessica said, like being taken care of by these people who are putting on as a fan, because they're working there like till 3 o'clock in the morning, putting this stuff on, like Kentucky, Josh, Bobby, and like of course as they grow they're going to get more and more help, but they've really busted their
Mhm.
butts to throw on this convention. And they're just really kind people. Like you're not just a number, at like
Definitely
a
not.
big con. So yeah, and then just tons of friends to be able to like hang out and have a good time with. And yeah,
Alright,
that's how I would sell that.
very cool. What about you, Manny?
I think it just Star Wars on its own right there. That hey, it's a Star Wars convention. If you're not pulling
Mhm.
through, then what are you doing, man? Yeah, I got a lot of questions like, hey, like how was it? Like, was it small or how was it? And like, and compared to other conventions, it was small, but at the same time, it was a lot. There was a lot you can do, interactions, make friends, meeting, the voice actors, the actors and actresses, a lot of vendors interacting with them. There was so much to do in such a small space.
Yeah.
And I told him like you're pretty much, you're going to like your family's house and you're just meeting, like family members, either for the first time or just like some that you just met, recently. And you're just having a good time, honestly. And honestly, that's pretty much how I would sell it. Like, come on, like it's a Star Wars convention. Like,
Yeah. That's awesome. No, I love
mhm.
that. Like you're going to someone's house. Like that's I don't know if I can top that, Manny. That was a perfect way of how you feel. Like
Yeah.
they make you feel, and they're nice to everybody. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just pretty cool how they do it. I
Hmm.
hope they can continue it. As it grows and grows and grows, they're going to get spread a little bit thinner. But I'm sure they'll be pulling like you got like I think Jess, you said like they'll be pulling people in to help them with stuff. So yeah, I would, and I think it's. I don't know about you guys. Like I said, I don't do a ton of cons, but most time it's like a bunch of stuff. It's a bunch of different things. This is only Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that in itself is incredible because the only one I know that does that as well is Star Wars Celebration, that it's only Star Wars. And, we got lots of insight about, you think, well, the panels aren't going to be that exciting. Well, Sam told us a lot of stuff about Maul Shadow Lord in his panel. And, they tell us these
Hmm.
things. And I think it'll be on par with that as well. But yeah, man, and that was really good. Feel like you're at home, kind of like it really did. And
Yeah.
then meeting all of you guys and just that as that grows and you get those relationships, it's a lot of fun. So I want to thank you guys for being at Rebel Scum Con this year so I can meet you and talk
Hmm.
to you. That was so much fun. And then go ahead, tell everybody where they can find you on social media, and then we'll sign off and we'll get you off the air. Jessica, why don't you go first?
Well, the podcast is Tales of the Force, and that's what it is for everything YouTube. The audio is anywhere you listen to podcasts, and I do have a TikTok. I need to probably use it a little bit more too. But then Instagram, and then I have my account as well, which is just my name. So but yeah, so it's fun. I love connecting with people and making more Star Wars friends and all the things.
All the
So yeah, and I loved this convention. I'm so glad I got to go. I think next year I want to be more intentional about, which ones I go to and that sort of thing. And I mean, I love the bigger cons too. They're great as well, but I don't know, this just feels a little more
like you're at someone's home.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Hmm. Exactly.
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you for coming on. We're excited for the rebrand.
Yeah.
I'm just keep re-scrolling through, waiting to see when it happens. So
Yeah, I am behind on a lot
you
of
take all the time you need.
things.
It'll
My
be awesome.
ADHD does not like to executive function. My brain does not like to do that. So filling out paperwork and having meetings to get the business side of life done is not my favorite
There
thing
you
to
go.
do. And traveling a lot, I haven't focused as much on that.
No,
So hopefully in the next few weeks or
we're
so,
all
I will be able to do that.
we're
So
all
Hmm.
excited to have you come back on the air. So
yeah.
that'll be great. Manny, tell everybody where they can find you.
Oh, for right now, mostly on Instagram. You can find me at Imperial Lemon. You'll see me in a nice dress shirt. But yeah, you'll mostly find me on Instagram for right now. Like you, Jessica, I think I need to, utilize my TikTok. I just have it, but not be able to use it. I think I need to start utilizing that more, and hopefully, I can transition to maybe YouTube once I get a good setup and everything. I can start maybe doing, showing my process, what
Yeah,
I'm
that'd be awesome.
doing, and yeah, just be able to show everybody like how I do it. Maybe give tutorials, lessons on how I do my craft.
Dang, let's go. I'm sold.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Tiara, where can everyone find you? Other than
Yes.
on our show most of the time.
Yes, I'm crafting on Ilum on pretty much all socials, so Threads, YouTube, and Instagram and TikTok. I'm mostly on Instagram. That is where I post most of my reels and updates or anything like on my stories. So yeah.
Perfect. Well, folks, if you're not following these three already, what are you doing? Get out there and follow them and pay, you know, and
What are y'all
again, I want
doing?
to thank the three of you for coming here. I want to thank the three of you for making Rebel Scum Con Year 2 so much fun. That was awesome. You know, and I love, you know, we always talk about this on the show where like our circle of friends keeps growing and it's all positive and it's just, you know, it's really, really fun to get to be with you guys and have you guys come on the show. So again, big thank you. Jack's really excited to come down next year to meet you guys. So can't wait for year 3. Don't be strangers. Okay.
Never.
Good.
Never.
Yeah, get Jack to come and Charlie.
Yeah, I've been working Charlie. So all right. Thank you guys.
All right.
All right, guys, thank you for joining this week. If you have any questions or just want your voice heard, then DM us on our socials or send us an email or voice note at exploretheforce@gmail.com. Remember to like this episode, share it with your Star Wars friends and family. To follow us on our social media platforms, all you have to do is search Explore the Force, all one word. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget, if you want to support and spread the word around by images as well as voice, then head over to Redbubble and search Explore the Force, where you can purchase unique merchandise. And a massive thank you to everyone interacting with us via our social medias. You guys are why we do this podcast. And finally, for all of us, you have been listening or watching Explore the Force. We have spoken. We'll see you guys next week.
At the end, you'll understand. Close your eyes.